come on, man. And with the local DBC news, LL Cool J with a triumphant comeback. Or so. But tonight, don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. I'm rocking my pants, putting suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom, explosion.
Boom explosion up in your face. Ladies and gentlemen, you have arrived at the Football Faction. Along with me today, I have Dominique Kirsch. Kirsch, what's going on?
What up, motherfuckers?
Yeah, buddy. Basically, we're down a man right now until a little later on in the podcast, but have no fear. Jerry, the Jerry Bear Heron, will be in studio a little later on. So we'll look forward to that. But for a while, it's just going to be the Dominator, myself, and Bo sleeping underneath the studio desk right now. He basically keeps us in check. So,
And he's a watchdog for the studio.
he is, because we got a lot of expensive stuff in here, and pretty much, I could see, since we are so popular in a syndicated radio show, someone could try and kidnap us, hold us for ransom. You never know.
Totally, I know.
People are crazy nowadays, bro. Mm-hmm. So what's going on, Dominator? How you been, brother?
Just been doing, man.
Just been doing the
Just
damn
been
thing,
doing.
huh?
Had a good breakfast.
Dude, that breakfast was pretty delicious, wasn't it?
Twas.
We had the breakfast place alongside. What a pleasant surprise to see Jack Gist and Josh Bowden there.
Yeah.
That was great. Had some good discussion. Hitler came up.
Yeah. Don't feel like the oldest guy there, which is it's always a good thing.
That is good. So overall, pretty good breakfast. We're fueled, ready to go for this freaking podcast right now. This podcast, by the way, is brought to you by McDago Productions. Be sure and check us out on the website there. You can go to the blog at mcdagoproductions.com. You can also go to YouTube, YouTube Football Faction. You can also check us out on Twitter at what, Dom?
Football Faction.
At Football Faction on Twitter. And then finally, someday.
iTuneage.
Oh, yeah, iTuneage. We are on iTunes. And then someday we will actually have our website ready to go. Having some technical difficulties there, but fear not, guys and girls. It's coming. So, yeah, what do you think of the games this past week, bro?
I didn't think there were a lot of good games overall, but the one that stood out to me the most would be the Chiefs-Packers. Would you agree?
I would agree completely. Yeah, that was a really good game, and freaking surprising. What the hell? Of all the teams that they could lose to this year, they lose to freaking Kansas City Chiefs.
To quote Admiral Akbar,
It's a trap! Dude, Admiral Akbar. What species was he? Salamander?
I don't know. I can look it up on Wikipedia real quick.
Oh, dude, we could check that out. We'll send that to our stats guy. Guy, which we don't have. Look that up.
All right. The Green Bay Packers' perfect season came to a crashing halt on Sunday against the beleaguered Kansas City Chiefs, who rallied behind interim coach Romeo Crennel, who, by the way, I think should get the head coaching nod for permanently.
If for anything else, he should get it for the smile.
I know.
When that guy smiles, it makes me smile.
And I love that Coors Light commercial they did.
Well, I haven't seen. Oh yeah.
Where he's up on the podium and they use his interview.
I think that is actually, those Coors Light commercials are some of the best marketing I've ever seen. They're hilarious.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome.
Playoffs.
Romeo Crennel and new quarterback Kyle Orton to a stunning 1914 victory.
Way to go, Crennel. I saw he got the Gatorade shower afterwards. Anytime you knock off a team that is undefeated, I don't care how bad your season's been going, that's pretty good. Also, how about Kyle Orton? I mean, what the hell?
I can't wait.
What I am hoping for, and I think you're hoping for the same thing, albeit for different reasons, is a Week 17 matchup for the division, the AFC West, between Kyle Orton, the beleaguered, fired quarterback for the Denver Broncos, facing Tebow and Tebow Nation. How great would that be?
It would be great if Orton has duplicated this performance against the Packers.
Hey, he can duplicate it, and then Tebow can duplicate any of his wonderful performances, and then it'd be wonderful. That'd be great. I'm looking forward to it. If it could really come down to that there would be nothing better this entire season. And Week 17, a lot of times people sit players and stuff because they've already made the playoffs and whatnot.
Right.
This is a case where for all the marbles. Yeah.
So Orton finished 23 for 31 passing for 299 yards.
Not bad.
In his first start with the Chiefs, who fired coach Todd Haley last Monday with the team having lost 5 of its last 6.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do,
Yeah. The loss also ended the Packers' 19-game winning streak,
Oh my gosh, they were on 19. Oh, including last season.
including
19
last season.
games. Dude, when we talked about it last week in episode 3, I truly thought they were at least going to go undefeated in the regular season. I found it highly unlikely that they'd make it through the playoffs simply because it's too hard now that you have to go 19-0. Also, and we'll talk about it here in a minute, but New Orleans, dude, I don't know how you're going to stop New Orleans because New Orleans has about as powerful an offense as Green Bay, and then they have a little bit better defense.
Right. I mean, yeah, their defense still can be suspect, but I think it's good enough to carry them deep into the playoffs.
And they live and die by the blitz.
Yeah,
in
even
New
though I
Orleans.
don't want to say it, because I'm a Bucks fan, NFC South, and they're Saints, and where we live, and everybody's a fucking Saints fan around here, and it's just annoying.
It is annoying. Another thing is part of the reason for the loss to Kansas City, reading online, was the offensive line woes of the Green Bay Packers, which I think is going to be huge
Right.
in the coming weeks. If they can't get healthy on the offensive line, doesn't matter how good your offense is. If you can't stand upright, you're in a lot of trouble, especially in a timing offense like they have.
Right. And yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, man, I tell you what, one of the games that I found to be just friggin' awesome was that Oakland-Detroit game. Freaking Matty Stafford looking like John Elway there with the comeback. And then finally, Megatron having a Megatron-like game. Over 200 yards, gave you at least 40-some-odd fantasy points. You got to be happy about that, especially in Week 15, playoff time for us.
That touchdown, the touchdown that put him ahead
Mm-hmm.
in the back of the end zone to Megatron was just unbelievable.
Dude, on a rope, off his back foot, while he was going backwards. It was just a beast. And then, Megatron, even though they were double and sometimes triple teaming him, he still seemed to be able to get the ball. There was that deep, like 60 yards in the air. He adjusted, came underneath and really kicked some ass. So
I mean, Matt Stafford had flashes of brilliance, and he also had flashes of
yeah, I think by now he's had quote unquote a full season under him. I mean, but he's 23 years old. That kid is gonna be good. Detroit's got a bright future. And then how about some redemption at the end in Ndamukong Suh blocking the field goal by your boy
Sebastian Janikowski.
Sebastian.
But of course, it was a 67-yard field goal.
But you gotta, what's crazy though is that crazy drunk bastard can make that.
He could.
That's why it was
when you're kicking it that far, from that far, it's going to be at a low angle.
Yeah.
It's going to be very easy to block.
Yep.
So, I mean,
yeah, pretty impressive for Ndamukong. The stat line, by the way, for Calvin Johnson: 9 receptions, 214 freaking yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Talk about beast mode.
Straight up beast mode. Way to go, Megatron. Kevin Smith didn't really have a good stat line. We expected him to do a lot better than he did, but they basically kept it in the air as Stafford passed 52 times. So you're not going to get a lot of carries when your quarterback's throwing 52 times. On the flip side of that, though, you had Carson Palmer and the Oakland Raiders. Until they get healthy, they're going to continue to. They hung in this game, which was pretty good. But until they get healthy, they're going to have problems.
I thought they had it in their hand.
Oh, absolutely.
Kind of pissed it down. They kind of pulled the Dallas Cowboys.
I was texting. Yeah. Oh man. Boo. Watch how late this is going to be. Here we go. No, yeah. I mean, I was texting Jerry during the game. He was freaking the hell out, dude. He was like, oh my God. And then right down to the last second, he's like, oh, well, we're going to blow it. And then sure as shit, old Matty Stafford. I like Matt Stafford. Did I ever tell you? He went to Highland Park. Highland Park, we played them in high school.
Oh, did you?
The Highland Park Scots, a bunch of rich. Well, I'm not gonna say it because we may have Highland Park listeners. A bunch of awesome people, really great folks.
Are you serious?
Would never pay the refs to give them the advantage against the Greenville Lions in what basically amounted to the 4A championship game. They'd never do anything like that. So pretty much, yeah. Oakland needs to get healthy at the wide receiver position. But we'll move on from that because, guys, girls, what we're trying to do is we're trying to streamline the show a little bit, make it a little quicker because I know 2 hours is it's a long time to be hanging around listening to a podcast, no matter how epic and wonderful it is.
Yeah, and it's makes it even more of a pain in the ass for us to cut it and put it up on YouTube and all that shit.
Since we are learning as we go, I have figured out that for every 10 minutes of audio in a podcast, it's about 40 minutes or 30 minutes. Yeah, for 10 minutes, 30 minutes. Yeah, 30 minutes of editing time. I got to improve on that. I got to do something.
Or we just got to shorten the show.
There you go. Hey-yo.
Oh.
well, another game that was pretty epic, considering it was kind of a smorgasbord of crappy games this week. Your Indianapolis Colts are no longer. Well, not your Indianapolis Colts.
I'm like, hey, you're looking at me.
The Indianapolis Colts. John Coleman's Indianapolis Colts are no longer in the basement. They won a game. And also, as people are going to be hearing this after the next game, they're now 2-0.
They're on a 2-game winning streak.
Yeah, 2-0 over the past 2 weeks. So, Chris Johnson pooped the bed. Matt Hasselbeck continues to be a little injured. You need to be looking for Jake Locker in the future there. But, hey, congrats to Indianapolis, although they're kind of screwing themselves because the sweepstakes for luck, was it Suck for Luck, right?
Yeah.
You got to suck, guys, if you're going to get luck, not win your games at the end of the season. So,
but they, but nobody wants to accuse them of tanking.
Oh yeah, God forbid. And just for the brevity of this show, we will not be including. I meant to tell you this. We won't be including the tanking thing. That'll be more of a BMD special that we'll do just for BMD owners.
Speaking of tanking,
Yes.
did you see The League?
Did I see? Oh my gosh. Let me tell you, that show. Let's even throw the fancy football stuff aside. That show is great.
Yeah, it is.
It's got great writers.
Mhm.
Did you see the tanking episode?
I did not, but
It's so epic, dude. They it coincides. For those of y'all that don't know, the Big Money Dynasty had an issue this past week about tanking, and it coincides, funny enough, with the league. Their episode was on tanking, and Ruxin actually cries because he finds out about how the tanking and how they manipulated the draft order.
Mm-hmm.
He cries, and then he has a stroke, and it's so great. The whole episode is great, and I love Taco. Taco is probably my favorite guy.
Have you seen his actual stand-up routine? Well, he does he did these videos a couple years ago where he's talking about he just stands there with these like cut off shorts and this really weird looking top.
Yeah.
And he's wearing this freaking little kid's hat, and he's talking about I get a lot of sex because I have a big penis or something. I don't know.
Just out there.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious though. But his actual stand-up routine I saw on Comedy Central is actually really funny.
Dude, I'll definitely have to check it out because that dude is freaking hilarious. And like I said, if you're not watching the league, then you've got a problem. However, this was the season finale. They pretty much run for the fantasy season. That's what's great.
Yeah.
And just like South Park, they must do their episodes on the fly because they'll be talking about, oh damn, Adrian Peterson's injured, and they got to look for. And this last one for the season finale, he was talking about, DeMarco Murray's down, and so there was this fight over the waiver bid because they're in a redraft league. So Felix was on the waiver, and Ruxin thought he had the waiver priority. Well, he didn't. It was Taco, and so he basically manipulates Taco to give him the waiver priority. It's pretty hilarious. So, yeah, so we strayed away a little bit there. But anyways, other games of the week that were, kind of interesting. You had Carolina Panthers, Houston Texans. I really didn't see them blowing them out kind of like they did.
Well, I mean, TJ Yates kind of just showed that he's a rookie.
Yep, and that's going to happen, especially, what was he, 5th round? I mean, it's not like he was a highly touted rookie, and then you come in all of a sudden without your number one target.
Right.
Andre Johnson's still injured, so... that's expected to happen. They have sealed up a playoff spot because they won the division, but I don't see them going very far, unfortunately.
I don't either. Even with Arian Foster carrying the load.
Exactly. We've got the Cowboys, Tampa Bay. Figure talk about that for a second because that's your boys.
Yeah, it was exciting for me when they started coming back.
Why would you think that?
Because it would have been in the 3rd week in a row that the Dallas Cowboys would have shit themselves.
Yep.
And I was texting you the whole time.
You were. I was worried there too. I was like, oh shit, because they did. They scored a touchdown at the beginning of the 4th quarter, and it was like, oh no, here we go, it's gonna happen. But my boys, Cowboys, hung in there. Tony Romo, again, I think highly underrated and not being talked about enough in this portion of the season about how well he's doing.
He actually, let me get the thing here. I mean, they were talking about how on point he was.
Oh yeah, dude.
Throughout the game.
23 for 30, 249, 3 touchdowns.
I mean, that's almost a perfect quarterback.
Oh rating. Yeah, and he's already over 4,000 yards. Funny enough, he's over 30 touchdowns. Kept his interceptions down to 6 or 7. I think it's 6. I want to say it's 6 or 7 for the whole season so far. I think the only thing that's going to hold Dallas back is that daggum secondary, man. That secondary is so bad.
In the running game.
If Felix.
I mean, he did run 22 times for 108 yards.
But he's injured now.
He's injured.
He's so fragile. He's like that Leonard Kelly guy. It's crazy.
And they got 50-year-old Sammy Morris backing him up.
But you know what's all right about him though is he's been chilling, resting, and he's an old man football wise. He needs rest. He looks good.
And he's a good PPR back too.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that was a pretty good game. Some of the other games of note was the Steelers game, pretty high profile game, and I think smoking the stovepipe segment we have later in the show. Stover speaks on the decision for old boy to keep Roethlisberger in there.
I watched the media outlets, sports media outlets, and they're kind of divided as well.
Are they? Yeah.
A lot of guys saying that you got to start him. Or an injured Ben Roethlisberger is better than a healthy Charlie Batch.
Yeah, which I think is debatable. I think maybe an injured Ben Roethlisberger is equal to a Charlie Batch. Maybe.
Well, I'm
not sure.
Depends on the severity of the injury, and Roethlisberger's injury was pretty severe. I mean,
yeah. And you know what though? How about you let him play right? You played a half, and you realize, okay, he's definitely not himself. Just put in Batch after the half. You gave him a chance, and these are football players. I mean, this is what they do. You got to give him the chance to play. All right, so he did his best, and it was obviously not working.
I mean, and you saw him do his like 3 and 5 step dropbacks, and it was just you could tell that he's not right.
Yeah,
and you gotta replace him, or you gotta put Batch in and see what he can do.
Yep.
Or you leave Dennis Dixon. I
don't know what their problem is, but I mean, Dennis Dixon, I thought could be a pretty damn good quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had a couple of years to develop back there. I don't.
Well, he did get injured. I think it was last year, and that put him out for a long time and
put him behind the curve a little bit.
Right.
Another game, Seattle, Chicago. Chicago's been on a downslide, but just yet again, we get to see the Skittle Man.
Okay, let me ask you this: What is with the NFC West this year?
In it,
they go from like probably arguably the shittiest division ever in the history of the NFL.
One of the few divisions in which multiple years in a row the division winner was had a losing record.
Right.
Or at least last year. I don't know if it's multiple years, but yeah, pretty crazy. And now nobody wants to face those guys.
Right.
You don't want to face San Francisco, not at all.
And now they have 3 teams that are that at least 500.
Yep. Seattle. I think that's one of the scariest places to play right now. I mean, at this point in the season.
I mean, historically, it's been like that because they're infamous 12 man
thing.
Because just the way that their stadium was designed was to hold in the crowd noise.
How they did that is like just
it's
the echoes,
architecturally acoustic, and it brings it up into the sides of the stadium, and then it brings it back in. So it's just always noisy.
Wow.
I mean, I've never been to a game there. I know guys that are from that area who have been to Seahawks games, and it's just fucking crazy.
I wouldn't mind going to. I'd go with a pound bag of Skittles so I can make it rain.
Dude, I bet sales in that area went that just skyrocketed.
I'm just waiting for the Skittles commercial. You figure Skittles would have to sign Marshawn Lynch. I mean, come on. This guy's
or unless they're saying, "Oh fuck it, he's giving us free advertising."
That's a good point too.
We don't have to pay him.
Good point. So yeah, what other games?
But I've been riding high on Marshawn Lynch. I think he's gonna. I mean, he's still a young guy. I mean,
well, let's not forget he was a first round pick,
right?
He sort of faltered there in Buffalo, and then when he got to Seattle, wasn't really doing anything impressive. But he has found his niche.
Yeah, I mean, they were kind of doing a committee backfield back there, in the beginning of the season with him, Justin Forsett, Leon Washington, but yeah, he finally just found his stride and just started blowing up.
Something I like is that old Pete Carroll. He still gives him the ball. He feeds him the ball even when he's not running good. Because his stat line this past week, he got 20 carries, but only 42 yards. But you've got to do that because see what that did enabled Tavares Jackson to go for 227.
Who has been surprisingly he's been surprisingly not Tavares Jackson-esque.
Yeah, exactly. And the interesting thing about that is he's had multiple offensive coordinators, even going back to the Minnesota times. So it's one of those cases where if you look a little deeper into it, maybe he just needed to be in a certain system and learn it and get better at it. So I think Tavares Jackson is definitely on the up and up. And I don't think they're not going to be looking in the first or second round for a freaking quarterback. I don't think coming up in the draft.
Almost seems like he's there to stay.
Yeah, I think he's there to stay, and they might get a guy, mid-round guy who they can develop for a backup and whatnot. But yeah, I think Seattle is a team on the rise, and the NFC West for the first time in a long time next year. From the beginning of the season, I think is going to be one of the more fun divisions to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, pretty sweet. You had Miami at Buffalo. I tell you what, man, Buffalo, ever since old boy got paid, they just been falling apart.
Yeah.
So nothing to really talk about there. Jacksonville got blown up by Atlanta. You had Roddy White just go beast mode. Every week you're starting Roddy White.
I mean, he's the reason why he's so coveted in fantasy.
Yep. He's a beast. You had New York Jets, Philadelphia Eagles. I'm so scared of Philly right now, just like Jerry Jones, dumbass, admitted. Oh, I'm so scared of them. I don't want to. Dude, what did I say last week? They didn't have the benefit, and nobody had the benefit of an offseason. You bring in a bunch of new players, all these high-profile guys.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, they had no time to work together and figure shit out. And now they're figuring everything out. Babin with 18 sacks.
That guy's.
I like the way he lines up. He lines up like with a huge incline,
Mm-hmm.
like he's just like a bulldozer or something, just ready to pound.
He's like Jared Allen, ready to eat babies.
Ready to eat babies. And then Washington, New York Giants. We said this last week. Watch out for this game because the NFC East, you can throw records out the window. You never know what's going to happen. And sure enough, Washington stomped on the Giants 23-10. Some of our sleeper picks from that game that did pan out, one of them panned out, the other two didn't, was Jabbar Gaffney. If you're in a PPR league, he got you, 14 points or so. So he caught all its targets except one. And then Grossman didn't have too good of a game because of the 2 picks. And Roy Halou, I think, was hobbled a little bit.
Yeah.
So he gave way to Evan Royster a little bit. But, pretty good game there. And then, New Orleans real quick, beast mode. Their offense, I don't know how anybody's going to stop them.
They are the hottest team in the league now.
They're so hot right now.
They're so hot right now.
Yeah, so pretty good games last week. I think this week, though, the games this week are just going to be so much fun. And we'll talk about that here in a little while. But basically, we're going to skip the top 5 performance review just because if you don't know who the top 5 performers were, you weren't paying attention. But, it was the Matthew Stafford.
It's the usual suspects.
Calvin Johnson. You had Roddy White in there. You had Drew Brees. But as we always say, the 6th.
Yeah, coming in at number 6. Well, Leonard will be covering in one of our segments.
One of our segments, yes. An IDP guy came in number 6 with almost 40 freaking points. So we'll cover that in a minute. Moving on real quick to the bust of the week. My bust was Roy Halou and Rex Grossman because I said they were both sleepers.
Mm-hmm.
So I was only 33 33.33% on my sleepers.
That's not a very good percentage.
It's not, definitely not. Rex Grossman has the most favorable going into the playoffs, which for most leagues is week 14 through 16, had the most favorable matchup for quarterbacks. He lived up to it week 14, not so much week 15. And then Roy Halou, I think he would have lived up to it. My sleeper stats for him, but he was hobbled. So what can you do? But Jabbar Gaffney,
yeah, well, a healthy Roy Halou will get you your stats.
Oh, absolutely. Also, I know that Jerry, were he here right now, he would say that his Kevin Smith pick was a little lackluster.
And I think he's just too worried about his ankle.
Yeah, I totally agree.
He tries to make his cuts and he's like, oh shit, I'm gonna screw up my ankle and then probably screw up my career again. Which and you can understand that because remember that last week we were talking about it and you saw him make that one cut and it wasn't even like a real big cut and he just dropped. So that ankle's got to be killing him. Oh yeah.
Overall I think we did pretty good. How about Khalil? Ryan, what is it? Ryan Khalil?
Khalil Bell?
Or Khalil Bell, yeah. That was one of Jerry's picks last week and I tell you what, that was a sleeper that panned out. That could have actually won you a game if you had have listened to old Jerry Bear. Let me find the stat here real quick. Give me some filler, Dom, while I'm looking for this.
How do you do?
Okay, here we go. Thank you, Dom. Khalil Bell, 15 rushes for 65 yards. That's averaging almost 5 yards a carry. Or is it 5? Maybe 4.9. So, pretty good. And then here's the surprising stat. 5 receptions, 43 yards, and a touchdown.
Wow.
Of note, since we got later news now, Khalil Bell is the starter this week as Marion Barber's out.
Don't even.
Yeah, I know, right? As Marion Barber's out, so, dude, if you were lucky enough to pick him up on Jerry's advice last week, then you are sitting in good shape right now for your championship game. And for those of y'all in a championship game, congratulations. Myself and Dom were not lucky enough to do it in the main league we're in, but Dom, ladies and gentlemen, is in the championship game in the Little Money Dynasty.
Right. Thank you. Thanks to Tom Brady and the Gronk. And thank you, kids.
The kids are always happy for you. All right, well, now we're going to move on to one of our more favorite segments, one that I hold dear and dear to my heart. Dominator, are you ready for this awesomeness? Here we go, baby. Ooh, listen to that violin.
All right, it's time for my nerd rage segment. Rawr. I'm gonna be previewing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3.
Get down! Ah!
Nice.
Yeah, that wasn't even the soundboard.
It wasn't. It's back from Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer Games. This is the third installment of the Modern Warfare series. It's a direct sequel of the Modern Warfare 2 that came out in 09. Because remember, Call of Duty Black Ops came out last year.
Epic.
Yeah, it was an awesome game. However, it had no ties to the Modern Warfare series. It was actually made by different developers. So that tells you a little bit about the fucking, I don't know, whatever.
Oh my gosh. We just got interrupted right in the middle. No, never mind. Go ahead. Sorry.
This installment was released last month and is available for all main platforms, such as the PC, Xbox 360, PS3, and unfortunately the Nintendo Wii. But seriously, if you're playing a game like this on the Wii, go kill yourself. I mean, let's be honest.
Just because of graphics, right? Pretty much.
I'm just gonna say that the Wii doesn't have the graphical nutsack, so to speak, to
Gotta have
support
a nutsack.
the stunning visuals that go along with this game. I mean, in fact, IGN rated them 4.5 out of 10 for the exact same reason.
Oh my god.
Yeah, boo, Nintendo Wii, and your consoles that are built for little kids.
And overweight people. They can get fit on the Wii. You didn't know that?
Yeah. Does anybody actually get fit on the Wii?
I think yeah, I've done a little bit of that Wii Fitness. Just kind of fun, but I can't imagine actually getting fit on that thing.
You actually have a Nintendo Wii?
I did.
You are.
I gave it to my parents.
You are something else.
I am. You can't play Mario on PS3, baby. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The game sees the return of the three guys from the Modern Warfare 2. Former Task Force 141 Captain John Soap McTavish.
That's an awesome name.
Badass.
Soap McTavish.
Former British Special Air Service Captain John Price, and a Russian informant who goes by the alias Nikolai.
Nikolai Gorbachev.
Yeah.
That's probably not him, though.
No, that's not him. These guys go on the run from Russian crazy person and all-around asshole Vladimir Makarov.
Dude, he is such an asshole.
Yeah, I fucking hate that guy. After killing rogue U.S. Army Lieutenant General Shepard, who was the main bad guy in Modern Warfare 2. Not going to get too much into the story aspect of this, but spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
Makarov gets what's coming to him.
Oh, good.
Modern Warfare 3 brings back all the aspects you loved about Modern Warfare 2, like specialized special ops missions, and added survival mode, which is similar to the whole zombie mode from Black Ops. But the zombie mode in Black Ops, it was fun for like 5 minutes, and then it got old really fast. Because all you do is you're in this building. Like
I remember playing that with you and Johnny.
Right, you're in this building and
Yeah.
you're just killing zombies for forever, and then it's just like ugh. And then they end up killing you.
I got a question for you real quick.
What?
It has to deal with this game. What is the tie-in between, say, Black Ops and the Modern Warfare? Like, Modern Warfare 3, was Black Ops, like, timeline-wise, in-game timeline-wise, was it set sort of in the past compared to, like, Modern Warfare 3?
I mean, I said earlier that they're not connected at all.
I guess I need to listen a little better.
Yeah, you do.
Thank you.
So
Yeah, Leonard.
yeah,
good
where
job, buddy.
was I? We're talking about survival mode, and instead of the endless waves of enemies appearing at fixed locations on the map, like I said in Zombies, they appear on tactical positions based on the current location of the player. So it's it adds to the difficulty. It adds an element of difficulty to the survival mode.
Sweet.
All these modes are available for co-op, which is also something that the makers of Black Ops they really dropped the ball on. They didn't add any type of real co-op type
For in-game, not...
Right.
Yeah, that's true. You're right, because you can only play one player.
right.
Huh.
So yeah, multiplayer was your only option. speaking of multiplayer, this is my favorite aspect of the game: the online player versus player type. You know, kill somebody in real life.
Yeah.
Well, not real life, but kill somebody on another system.
Yeah.
And then they nerd rage. Okay, so I'm gonna talk to you as if you're familiar with the previous versions of COD. I know you're familiar with Black Ops.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Oh, and can I also, first of all, I want to say that I was ahead of the game because in 2005, I was in Japan. Maybe 2004, 2005, somewhere in there. I was in Japan, and I was 2002, brother. I'm sorry, 2002. I was in Japan, and I was looking at the BX, just looking for a game on the PC, and I saw Call of Duty, the original shiz before any of this awesome stuff that followed. And in that, they had this new game.
Yeah, this is like the 8th or 9th game that they've come out with.
And I remember playing that original Call of Duty. It was a World War II type deal where you played as the part of the Russian front. You could play as part of the English, English, and then of course American. That game was epic. I mean, that game was incredible, and all they've done is built on from there. So I got a little connection to it. Yeah.
So in this game, in Modern Warfare 3, the kill streak mechanic was revamped for this game. So it's not called a kill streak anymore. It's called It's called a point streak system. What they did with this was, instead of just getting consecutive kills to get kill streak rewards, you can complete objectives in combination with kills. So say you can like capture a couple flags and then get 4 kills all at once, and then get your 8-point streak reward, which I think, if I remember correctly, in some reward packages, it's like a Blackbird, where
SR-71?
SR-71, where it shows you the exact position of the players and where they're going and all that.
Nice.
So that's an awesome aspect they threw into the new game. They broke off the rewards packages into three different strike packages, which are kind of tailored to the type of player that you are. One of those packages is called the support package, which is that's the package I use in Modern Warfare 3. The advantage to this pack is the point streak doesn't reset on death, but rather accumulates over the course of a match.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, you don't get as many of the cool stuff, the cool rewards that you get with a regular the assault kill streak package or point streak package, but at least you're not worried about dying. You know what I mean? So
which I would do a lot.
Like for me, I'm an objective style player. Like I like to complete objectives in a match.
Capture the flag. Or do those. Yeah.
I like to support and defend the Constitution. Oh yeah.
Ron Paul, baby.
Yeah, that's right.
Ron Paul 2012.
Like in domination matches, I like to defend the 3 nodes or the 3 locations that you're supposed to capture.
So you don't like to just sit there and pick people off as they.
Right. I'm not that douchebag that sits in one spot and camps kills and does nothing to contribute to a win. So naturally, I die a lot in favor of that package.
Yep.
Other strike packages, the specialist package, you can gain perks, as you know, like you have like steady aim, you have like ghost, and you have like you got like sleight of hand where you reload faster. You can get all those perks. Potentially, if you get enough kills in a row without dying, you can have a whole shitload of perks all at once.
Hell yeah.
So that's a good strike package to use, but I don't necessarily like to use it though. It has all the same types of online matches that we're accustomed to, like team deathmatch, domination headquarters, capture the flag, etc. But it added a couple of new types of matches that I'm a big fan of. The first one is called the Kill Confirmed match. This is the type of team deathmatch style of game, but with one mechanic that was added. Every time you kill someone, they drop dog tags that need to be picked up in order for the kill to count. So it prevents a lot of camping fags.
Yeah.
But it can be combated if you're like online. Say it's like you and a buddy, and you're the camper, and your buddy's the guy who runs in there and grabs the dog tags.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess you can strategize that way.
It's kind of interesting though.
Yeah.
It's the first game to do that.
Also, the other type of I forgot to say in Kill Confirmed. The other team, like say you kill somebody and they drop their dog tags, well, the other team can pick up those dog tags and they can also deny that kill.
Ooh,
Which that kind of combats camping too.
right.
The other type of match is called Team Defender, which is also a lot of fun. Basically, the match starts and the first person that gets killed in the game drops a flag, and the objective is to capture that flag and hold on to it to gain double points for every kill.
Yeah.
So I mean, as long as you're holding the flag, your chances of winning are more likely because you're going to be
Getting the double points.
Getting the double points, while the
Nice.
other team without the flag gets the single points, and you're playing for a set amount of points to win the match. So there's a lot of dying going on, and the matches tend to go really really quickly because it's just an all out, like somebody will get the flag and then they'll hide into like a building or something like that. But like your position's always on the map, on the mini map, so everybody knows where you're at.
Your position but only your guys,
the
right?
flag carriers.
Oh, and that's visible.
Everybody,
to both sides.
everybody knows where the flag carrier is, so
Ah.
everybody's just brum rushing in and just throwing grenades. And
Now, is that the same as in previous games? Because in previous games, usually, let's say I'm on the opposite team and you're holding the flag, I wouldn't know where you're at. On
yeah,
the
like
map,
in
would I?
capture the flag, you don't. I mean, you normally don't know where you're at.
Okay.
Unless you have like an enemy, like a drone, like
Right.
you put up a drone and
That
it
can
shows
see, yeah.
right, it shows the positions of everybody on the map.
Sweet.
So yeah, that's one of my favorite types. The game grossed over $1 billion worldwide in the first 2 weeks of release, which beat
Nice.
out Avatar,
The freaking movie.
right? The movie. They reached $1 billion in 17 days. This game grossed $1 billion in a couple days less.
Can you imagine? That's insane.
That is insane. I'm making it the largest retail release ever in the history of entertainment, according to Activision. But I mean, let's be honest. That's just
Dude,
that's unheard of.
dude, that's I don't know. It's kind of mind-boggling. $1 billion in sales, you said, right?
$1 billion in total sales.
Good God, that's
Um,
insane.
I mean, it set all those
$60 a game, roughly. however you wanna get.
it set all those records, with good reason. The game is very polished.
Yeah.
I think they spent 2 years on this on the sequel, on the third one.
Yeah.
They didn't like just rush out and shit out a sequel within a year.
Yeah.
So it's very polished, and it's a must have if you enjoy first person shooters, which I do. For the rating system, I give it 5 out of 5 titties.
5 out of 5 titties. That means 10. Technically, 10 titties. Is it 5 out of 5 pairs?
5 out of 5. Oh, I guess yeah. Or it's it's a total recall chick plus one regular.
Oh
chick.
man. So that'd be 15 tots if it was all total recall chicks.
No, it's just one total recall chick and one regular chick.
Oh, 5. Oh, okay, got
5
it.
titties.
5 titties. Got it. Well, dude, thanks so much for that Nerd Rage segment. We appreciate it, and I think the kids do too.
The kids love games, and so do I.
They do. The only thing I will mention is if you're like me and you cannot aim with that damn thumbstick, go ahead and get it for the PC, and I will pwn you on the PC.
Mm-hmm.
I'm serious, man. Me and Snooky Bottoms, we used to own everybody on Return to Castle Wolfenstein. Enemy territories. Oh my God, we would just dominate. People thought we were using like cheat bot things and stuff like that, and it's like, no,
You're hacking.
we're just that good. It was awesome. So yeah, man. Hey, appreciate that segment. Looking forward to your segment next week. It's always a surprise, so we don't want to let anybody know what you're going. Or do you want to give a heads up?
I really haven't really thought about it.
All right, so there you go. It's going to be a surprise to Dom himself.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll rock on real quick. We're making real good time, Dom. I'm pretty happy about this. Moving on to our next segment. It's kind of a sad segment. That's right. Something that I can correlate with quite well. The injury segment.
Update.
Injury updates. We got AJ Green, and we're only going to highlight the people that really matter. I mean, Brian Balaga. Well, actually, yeah, that's actually one we need to hit. But anyways, okay, so AJ Green kind of got banged up a little bit in the St. Louis game. Shoulder injury, was diagnosed as a grade 3 sprain to the right AC joint. That's the most severe sprain he could get, and he reportedly left the stadium post game with his arm in a sling. Despite this, Bengals coach Marvin Lewis says he believes Green will play in Week 16.
He's a tough guy.
Yeah, which is very dude. Remember that touchdown catch he
Yeah, he
caught
caught
where
with
like
one leg.
hyperextended nastiness.
Yeah.
He was only out a week. Came
Yeah.
back. Yeah, so you should be all right with AJ Green. Looks like Willis McGahee is also going to be able to play, but he's going to be banged up, and that's turning into like a three-headed monster, at least a
Rushing attack.
two-headed monster there. So McGahee going beast mode. About a stretch of 3 weeks, going back about 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Starting to fall off a little bit simply due to injuries. So
and he's way older, so it takes a
Definitely.
little longer to recover.
Steve Johnson. Now these are slightly older updates. You're definitely going to want to check RotoWorld, NFL.com, those sites to see what the latest news on these guys are. But Stevie Johnson, they say watch out for this one. On Tuesday is the stats of Stevie Johnson's groin injury.
Did he hurt himself making fun of Plaxico Barris?
Probably shot himself in the nuts or something. Won't really be known until later on this week. So actually right about now. So y'all definitely check that out. See if he's going to be able to go against Denver. Roy Halou, he's had several nagging injuries, and it sounds as though the Redskins want to limit his workload over the next few weeks. He'll still play, but not only is the injury hampering his output, his number of carries is going to be dropped with Evan Royster there. So be careful with that if you have him as one of your starters. Moving on to a couple of other significant injuries, we have Ben Roethlisberger, who, if you got to watch that game, he stuck through there, did his best, but he was obviously not himself. But the latest news is he is going to again attempt to play, and knowing that it's Ben Roethlisberger, and obviously seeing what that coach did there, if he plays, he's going to play.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
I
And they're fighting for the division still.
right. I'm in the championship game in the little money.
Yeah.
And I started Antonio Brown, but I was gonna wait to see if they're gonna play Ben Roethlisberger or not.
Yeah,
But who knows?
dude, I'm glad I don't have to make that decision. But we will make the decision for you. If you do have a question, send it to us, and we will hook up an answer for you.
Word.
Moving on a little further, and we kind of hit this up a little bit in the Green Bay, Kansas City talk. Brian Balaga and Derek Sherrod, both of them. I mean, Sherrod's out for the season now, and these are the offensive line. I mean, Balaga's the starter, Sherrod's the backup, and both of them are gone.
That could be detrimental.
Very much, especially for that offense. Like we said, a timing offense in which your offensive line is going down is not a good thing. So just be paying attention to what they do on the offensive line there.
They could get surprised in the playoffs.
Absolute playoffs.
Yeah.
Here's another. We got to talk about this guy for a second, real quick. Darren McFadden. At this point, I think it's safe to say you need to just not even think about playing him.
Or I'd almost try to like unload him and try to trade him.
Yeah. Darren McFadden's a guy that if you can bank or if you can find a guy in the offseason, and this is Dynasty Leaves, obviously, in the offseason who is high on him, or an Arkansas fan or an Oakland fan. I mean, when Darren McFadden's healthy, 100% and playing,
Yeah,
he's one of the best
running backs in the league. But
one of the best. But this
guy's foot will not heal.
yeah. And obviously, if you're a running back, you need your foot. So
If you can't play football without your feet.
exactly. So any of y'all that were hoping for Darren McFadden to come back in and maybe save your playoffs, you're just gonna, you're pretty much screwed. So you need to look in other avenues there. Johnny Knox, dude, did you see that injury?
Oh, dude, looks like he almost got snapped in half.
I thought he was paralyzed. If for those of y'all that didn't see this injury, he fumbled the ball, kind of went behind him. He turned around,
Well, yeah, he fumbled ball, tried to go back to get it,
tried to go back,
and then some 300-pound freaking lineman.
He dove down, he dove forward to get it. The big old lineman was coming in as well, and Johnny Knox bent backwards at the mid part of his spine.
I seriously thought he broke his back
Oh,
or his
yeah.
vertebrae or something.
He was down on the field for like 15 minutes
Yeah.
too. I was like, but good news is, as he was leaving the field, he's wiggling his thumbs and
He's
was
getting
being
carted
talked
off
to.
and then given the I'm okay symbol.
And this is old news, but again, we're a little behind the curve on this. Said the good news is his prognosis is positive, and he has back surgery on his back surgery that he had on Monday was successful. And he should be able to recover in time for training camp. So hey, that's good news for Johnny Knox.
Wish him well.
Wish him well, absolutely. Andre Johnson doesn't matter. He was out in that game that Indianapolis won. And then Colt McCoy, probably not many people counting on him for your fantasy football playoffs, but if you were, you need to look elsewhere because of concussion.
You could probably find somebody better on the waiver wire.
Yeah, exactly. So that's not good for news for Colt McCoy, and it's definitely not good news for your team if you were counting on him to be hooking you up. So that's where we're at. So hopefully those of y'all out there in the playoffs don't have too many of these guys on your roster that you have to worry about.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, coming up next, we have a new segment to the show this week. Forget About It by Mr. Jack. And Jack, to remain anonymous, is not going to reveal his last name due to the FBI, the DEA, and
More
whoever else is
the ATF.
the ATF, the Democratic National Convention,
yeah.
everybody that's he's watchdog list he's on. So yeah, Jack, take it away, my man. And he's coming in. We have a secret unwiretapped phone that goes through about 5 different ciphers. So that's why it might sound a little weird. So go ahead, Jack.
Yeah, I've been given permission to talk about anything I want tonight. So, however, since this is mostly about football, I thought I'd at least start off talking about that subject. First off, I just wanted to say that the thought of listening to a bunch of weather geeks talking about football kind of irritates me from a rational standpoint. I must admit, after listening to the previous segments that they had on there, it's not too bad. Now, is this going to be picked up by national media somehow? Well, forget about it. For the record, I want to say that I am a Cowboys fan, so I do get pissed off easily, almost weekly. However, to me, the biggest story of the year so far, to Dom's chagrin, and I did put a link to Merriam-Webster's on Leonard's page, because I figured he wouldn't know that word. But the big story has to be Tim Tebow, who's probably going to win the MVP this year. Well, maybe not really. But you know what? I think I'd pay up to $10,000 if I could influence that vote, just to see Dom's face when it was announced. Anyway, on to the main section here. I got one more thing about football I'll get to, but most of the rest of the stuff is outside football. I thought I'd just come up with a list of 5 things that absolutely positively just pissed me off. And this is where I'm going to concentrate for the next couple minutes here.
Hey, Jack.
My number 5 pick, yeah. Yeah.
Speak up a little bit louder on these next parts. You're probably going to have to almost be yelling on your end. Just a heads up.
Oh, all right. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, my number 5 pet peeve are the jackwads that drive around this area where I live. They drive around like they're at a professional racetrack, cutting in and out of traffic, 10 to 15 miles per hour over the posted speed limit. And probably one guy that does that is Ishmael. Matter of fact, actually, he cut me off in traffic one time. I chased him down. I didn't know it was him at the time, but anyway. Anyway, they do all this, and then they end up next to me at the traffic light. At this point, I just kind of use the appropriate hand and use my middle finger to scratch the side of my head. Forget about it. Number 4, and this really aggravates me, is anything about the Philadelphia Eagles, because they absolutely suck ass. Why do I hate this team so much? Now, first off, they're in the same division as Dallas. But it's more than that. It really is more than that. It's the fans. The freaking asshole Pennsylvania fan. Well, since Storm was part of this, I won't call it all Pennsylvania fans, but let's say southeastern Pennsylvania fans. They're classless and total dipshits. I mean, really, ice balls thrown at Santa Claus? I know it was a long time ago, but come on, man. Forget about it. But honestly, having to pay protection fees at the stadium also so my car doesn't get damaged while I'm watching the game, that's just the cherry on top. Forget about it. Number 3, any moron who votes for anybody to Ron Paul in the next election. Forget about that, man. Just stay home. Number 2, I really detest people who don't want the rest of us to say Merry Christmas. I'm going to tell everyone Merry Christmas. I might even do it into July. Forget about it. And number one, Occupy Anything protesters. Now, come on, man. These are the biggest morons who live amongst us. These are not only idiots who don't even know what they're protesting. They're dirty, smelly, brainwashed zombies. You should just go home. Forget about it. There's only one thing I want occupied, and that has to do with my pants in Thailand. Hey, I'll leave everyone with this interesting letter I found to Dr. Phil. Hey, not that I watch Dr. Phil. Forget about that. Dear Dr. Phil, I was watching my next-door neighbor's wife sunbathing topless and struck ass naked from my bedroom window. As I was jerking off, I turned to notice my wife just standing there, arms folded, watching me. Dr. Phil, honestly, is she a pervert? Hey, back to you guys. Forget about it.
Dude,
Love Jack.
Jack is awesome, is he not?
He is.
Forget about it. Guys and girls, if you like that segment, please tune in every week. That's going to be a regular staple. Yeah, Jack, appreciate it, man, and look forward to what you're bringing next week. Moving on a little bit now, we have just basically gonna look real quick to the games coming up next week, and there's some exciting ones, bro. What are a couple games you're looking forward to, and what are some of the the circumstances surrounding those games.
Broncos Bills.
Oh man, that's
I mean, I I want to see them lose because I don't want them winning the AFC West.
right.
I'm looking forward to the Cardinals Bengals because I've been kind of rooting for the Cardinals to make the playoffs because they've been on a surge. Let's see.
Your prognostication on that might be correct, by the way.
If
Prognostic. 5 syllables.
there you go.
Yeah, buddy.
If the Giants drop the ball or even Detroit drop the ball, I mean that paves the way for Arizona.
Yep. I'm telling you what, man, it's going to be interesting to see who comes out of that NFC West as a wild card could. A lot of things that have to happen, but a wild card could come out of there. That's pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
What about the old Dallas-Philly game? I mean, pretty much both NFC or all the NFC East players this week are going to be in interesting games. With Dallas-Philly, Philly's been on a freaking tear since they decided, hey, we're
going to start
play together.
showing up to games now.
Yeah, so I tell you what, that's going to be a tough game for Dallas. A lot of implications in that one, and then of course the battle for New York.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be ridiculous.
See who's the shittiest team in New York.
Yep. You're going to have kind of opposite powers going against each other. You got the passing offense of the New York Giants versus the pass defense of the New York Jets. So I think you're going to see a really good game there. We're really looking forward to that.
Jerry would probably say Lions Chargers because his Lions are still in the playoff hunt.
Yes, they are, and I think they wrapped up a wild card. I think they have officially wrapped up a wild card. Like the Detroit Lions are officially in the playoffs as of right now, or for good. So that's kind of cool. They're just playing for either the 5th or 6th seed right now.
Okay.
Seattle, San Francisco.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to that game.
Seattle's not mathematically out.
Nope, and I would pull for them. I just like to see Skittles in the playoffs. More chance I get to see Skittles reign. I think that's awesome. It's Zen Master's favorite candy. And then finally, you've got the 2 games. They're the late games. Sunday night, Christmas Eve. You have. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Christmas night Eve.
Christmas Day Eve.
Say that. Christmas Day Eve?
Yes.
Yeah. You've got Green Bay versus Chicago. I think that's going to be a pretty sweet game.
Yeah, we had a tough decision to make for our buddy Jerry, who's in the championship game.
Our buddy Jerry is in the championship game. And for those of y'all who don't know, we recorded all this already, but due to technical difficulties, half of this show got deleted. So we did this all last night, and Jerry was here. So now we're re-recording the first half of it. And though we're going to say Jerry is going to be coming in here in a minute, no, it's just the part that I didn't delete. So
way to go.
So yeah, so he did have a question about Khalil Bell or Kevin Smith, and that's a tough one because I would say Khalil Bell outright, but now in addition to it being Chicago, obviously, Marion Barber's out, but you got a new quarterback coming in. Now Khalil Bell got 6 receptions with what's his nuts there? Who was that quarterback?
Caleb
Haney.
Caleb, who gives a shit?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know, tough one, but we hopefully we steered him the right way. We said Khalil Bell. So we'll see what happens there.
Then the Monday night game.
Yes, that one. Talk about some serious implications there. New Orleans, Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
That's always a good one, too. I mean, you're an NFC South fan in general as it is. So what can you expect from that game?
High-powered offense.
Yep.
I mean, Atlanta's got an all right defense. I don't think it's going to be enough to stop Drew Brees and all those weapons that he has around him. So I can see the Saints winning this game. I mean, and earlier in the show we were talking to Mark, and he asked us just off the top of your head who's going to the Super Bowl in the NFC. I said Atlanta.
Yeah.
So
they and that's the thing. They have games where they put up 40, and then they have games where they play down to their competition. So it's going to be interesting to see. Oh my gosh. Guess what we just got? We got a Mary F. Kill from Stover over in Korea. Are you ready for this? Paris Hilton, Kim Kardashian,
okay,
and Snooki.
All right. The kill.
Let's give 1, 2, and
3 boos for
that.
all 3 of those.
Yeah.
Insufferable women.
Yeah, that's no good at all, dude.
The kill one's easy.
Yeah, Snooki. Snooki's
Snooki.
done.
Yeah.
So now it comes down to Paris Hilton, who's got the better body, but is horribly
depending
annoying.
on who you are, because some people like the big ass.
Yeah, I think Jerry, when we did the show the first time, he actually picked Kim Kardashian to marry. which I couldn't be married to that.
Yeah, I couldn't either. I mean, but on the same token, you also it'd be tough. It'd be tough to be married to Paris Hilton.
Gosh, it really would.
But like, I would marry Paris Hilton for the money.
Yeah, and I
Um,
would F Kim Kardashian with Jerry's wiener.
Right.
That way I don't have to touch her because she's disgusting. There's nothing about her that is attractive to me. I
Um,
don't know why.
And also, I mean, at least if you're married to Kim Kardashian, you'll get divorced in 3 months.
Oh, that's true. Wait, so are you saying you'd marry Kim?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying that's an
Oh.
advantage for you for making that pick.
That's true. Yeah, so I think the consensus here is marry Paris Hilton, F Kim Kardashian, and definitely slaughter in a most heinous way Snooki because she's all that's wrong with America
Yes,
and society in general. Ugh. Sorry we had to give you all that image. That's pretty disgusting. Seriously, dude. Okay, so what did we just have? We had the oh my gosh. Yeah, guess what we got coming up next, buddy?
What's up?
We have a new segment this week. We hope y'all enjoy it. Our buddy from Korea, Mark Stover, in his new segment, Smoking the Stovepipe.
Made of steel, the Super Steelers, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
So stupid. Steelers. It's so horrible.
Listen to this.
We're from the country, the Super Bowl team. Three-time winner Steelers.
Here's what the stovepipe is smoking on right now. I'm very disappointed in Coach Mike Tomlin for A, starting Ben Roethlisberger, B, leaving Ben Roethlisberger in a game when he was clearly ineffective, and C, saying that he never considered taking Ben out of the game. This is all a bunch of bad decisions, and here's my problem with it. Basically, you're saying, because we've had the same backup quarterbacks in Pittsburgh for several years in a row, what you're saying is you haven't cultivated or developed your backup quarterback to the point where a healthy Dennis Dixon is not better than a hobbled Ben Roethlisberger. That's a failure on your part, Coach. That's a failure on offensive coordinator Bruce Arians, who I hate anyway. I'm also very unhappy with Rashard Mendenhall. You are a bust. You had another opportunity to step up when the team needed you to, and you failed. So basically, you can't start a stud who's hurt. You're going to hurt him worse. I got news for you. Yeah, it'd been nice to get the number one seed, home field advantage, all that other stuff. The Steelers proved a few years ago that they can win on the road. It's the risk reward is just it's too risky. You're not going anywhere with Ben if he's not healthy for the playoffs. He can sit the last 3 games of the year. I don't give a crap. Who cares what seed we are? We can win in any building against any team. Moving on to the subject of tanking, it's been discussed, and I wanted to just say out loud, because sometimes your intent or your mood gets missed by the written word, seeing on a screen or on a website. I'm not mad at the Jazz. I'm not mad at anybody. I simply think that whatever we do, we should be consistent and fair for the betterment of the league. And I know that Zen is going to make a decision. And all I can say is let's leave Texas out of it. I can see a clear division that all the people from Texas are crooks anyway. They stole that beautiful land from the Mexicans. They have no honor. And quite frankly, all the Texans are on one side in this issue, and all the Yankees are on the other side. So anyway, Zen, Zen, I am mad at you. I hate you, and I think you're a jerk. Jazz, I'm not mad at you. I love you, man. You're a good dude. I understand why you did what you did. We have to deter that kind of stuff, and no big deal. We'll move on. The league is great. I love this league, even though I'm not good at it. I love it, and eventually, I think I will break the 500 win percentage barrier. This is the stovepipe. Out.
Well, thanks, Stover, for that awesome segment. Well,
He was like Stover out?
Stover
Asking a question?
out? Stover question mark? Yeah, if y'all liked that segment, well, let me just tell you, be happy because that's going to be an every week thing. Stover's going to drop by, give us a little knowledge, drop some knowledge on us No matter that this knowledge is from a retard.
Pittsburgh knowledge,
Pittsburgh
whatever
knowledge.
that is.
Yeah, so completely skewed and biased.
Oh,
Yeah. So, but yeah, hey, Stover, thanks for that. What we are going to hopefully look forward to in the future is getting both Stover and Buck on the show live through Skype. Just trying to find the right software to do that. I tried to use some free software, and that was a big mistake. So, I wanted to ask you a quick question, Dom. We got these games on Saturday night, Christmas Eve, or Saturday into Saturday night, Christmas Eve, just one of the best nights of the year. Do y'all have any Christmas traditions for Christmas Eve? I know we are allowed to open a present on Christmas Eve. It's usually like pajamas or something like that, a Snuggie perhaps. Do y'all do anything like that?
when I was growing up,
Yeah,
not really. I mean, I just remember getting screwed a lot.
that's right, because you
My-
had the birthday soon
Yeah.
after Christmas.
Yeah, my birthday's on the 28th, and every year it was always this is your Christmas and
combination.
birthday. Yeah, Christmas and birthday present.
Dude, you totally got screwed.
Yeah.
Also, we would like to say Happy Hanukkah to our friends of Jewish faith out there listening to the show. This is the third day of Ramadan. I mean, the Festival of Lights. Yes, that's what I meant to say. So, hey, is that all you just say is Happy Hanukkah?
I guess.
Do you say Merry Christmas to those of Jewish faith?
No, why would you?
I don't know, because it's still a Merry Christmas. Would they get mad?
I don't know, but I mean, usually Jewish people.
I'm just kidding, Jewish folks.
Well, for Jewish people, Hanukkah is not even their holiest of holidays, and so
What's their holiest holiday?
I would guess it would be Rosh Hashanah.
I'm just getting educated now.
Okay, the Festival of Lights was like, it was like a couple thousand years ago. There was a couple Jews that got trapped in. Well, they were Jews.
I know, it's just funny the way.
A couple Jews that
Couple
got trapped.
Jews.
They got trapped in like a cell or got imprisoned or something like that.
Yeah.
And they had a bunch of lamp oil that had to ration for 8 days. Before I think before they got rescued or something like that, or before they got out of the thing.
So is this the thing with the menorah?
Right. I mean, so they have
Okay.
this lamp oil, and so they had to ration it so they can light candle. They light a candle every night, or I guess.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they give each other shitty presents. And so I don't know.
Interesting.
I mean, I knew a couple Jewish people growing up, and they, they envied Christians. Because,
Yeah. Well, just like Kyle on South Park.
right.
A Jew on Christmas. It was hilarious. What about
So-
Muslims? What do they do for Christmas?
I don't. They don't.
Muslim Americans? They probably celebrate Christmas.
Well, they probably. I mean, the marketing aspect. I'm pretty sure. I mean, because I mean, let's be honest. Christmas is a marketing holiday.
Oh yeah, dude. Actually, what was interesting is you still got to see this movie called Saint. It's basically Santa Claus. This came over from Norway or wherever, or Finland. I can't remember where the actual Saint Claus came from. And then once the Holland, that's what it was. Anyways, once all those folks came over to America, they brought that with them, and then it got morphed into this whole jolly guy in a suit, and everybody buy a bunch of gifts and let's stimulate the economy. Somehow it morphed into that, but it was pretty interesting. And that movie, crazy. He basically was a crazy bishop who killed children back in the day. They killed them, buried them, but on the full moon, on a certain Christmas with full moons, he comes back and kills again. Just the kind of good, wholesome-hearted movie that you want to see on Christmas. Yeah, I was just wondering,
Or like, what the hell did we watch last week?
Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Now, can you at least be honest? That
It was
Did it
hilarious.
exceed your expectations? Come on, it did.
It was funny. It wasn't scary.
Right, not scary, just great. And I think the fact that we were, well, you didn't because you were working and stuff, but I mean, we were drinking Irish coffees, mimosas, and it just, my favorite bit was the guy after he closed down the store. Time to get shit
He does this
faced.
little flailing arm thing, like the wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man.
Yeah, good shit, man. Yeah, I was just wondering, just throw a little Christmas in there. Just wanted to say Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and
All that shit.
all that good stuff. So, so we did the Smoke in the Stovepipe. We did IDP Corner. I think we are all caught up. And for those of y'all that don't know, basically what we're going to do now is transition to where we were at that we recorded last night.
We're turning back the clock.
Yes, we're turning back the clock. So what you're going to hear from this point out is actually what was recorded about
12
18 hours ago?
Yeah, about 15 hours
Somewhere
ago.
around there. So we're going to lead into one of the best segments out there. Just also so you know, it is going to be a little choppy because part of it was cut off. But the next segment we got coming up is one of my favorites, and it would behoove y'all who are in the Fantasy Football Championship game to listen to this guy. He is our own Jerry Heron, bringing you the knowledge from the Preemptive Strike.
So I think we should hide because I think there's a bomb coming.
Oh my God.
And we're dead.
Greg Little should be a guy that you should target next year as one of your number one receivers.
He had a pretty big game last.
He did. He had a really good game. He had 131 yards receiving. That was his season high. Yeah, 5 receptions. He's getting all the targets. I mean, he's the number one target guy over there in Cleveland. So even though he has subpar quarterback performances in his rookie season, he's still 57 receptions, 669 yards. So he's getting the receptions, not getting the big yardage with the style of offense Cleveland is running. But, yeah, pick that guy up and stow him away for next year. Next guy, when you look at New England, you see their running back situation, and you never know who quite to pick up. But if I'm the coach of New England, I pick this guy up, and that is Stephen Ridley.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, he's a beast. You watch him play, he just bounces off of people. He hits the holes hard, and he's a guy that I would target. Danny Woodhead, he's kind of out of the picture. You have the law firm Ben Jarvis Green Ellis. He's a good running back, but not necessarily a starter, in my opinion. I don't think
really not fit for that offense.
Yeah,
I see Danny Woodhead is basically
He's
the new
like a
Kevin
utility.
Falk.
Yeah, he's a utility guy,
guy.
exactly. But Stephen Ridley is that guy I think can come in and be a number one guy. He catches the balls very well. So if you need a running back for next year, yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I can get that.
I've seen the guy. I've actually seen the guy play. He played for LSU. I've seen him play in college. He's a phenomenal back.
Oh yeah. So if you need a guy to stow away and a sleeper for next year, pick this guy up or take him in the later rounds of redraft leagues. So 2 guys that I'd recommend for this year, if you're in the fantasy football playoffs, like myself in all 3 leagues. I'm not trying.
Rub it in, will you?
Not trying to brag, but
Stover's giving you the finger from Korea.
Hey, he beat me at the end, so yeah.
He beat me too.
Yeah,
I played down to my competition this year.
He beats everybody of significance, but nobody of insignificance.
He can beat every team that should beat him by about 80 points. He ends up winning, and then but he can't beat the likes of Snooki and whoever else.
Yeah. The one guy I got, he was my preemptive pick last week for a dynasty purpose, but I'm going to take him this week as a potential playoff fill-in, and that is Khalil Bell. Yes, thank you very much.
The kids love him too.
The kids love him too. That was a I just want to. I don't mean to interrupt you, but damn good pickup on that because he actually had a really good stat line.
He did.
So
108 total yards.
Yeah.
He had a reception touchdown from Caleb Haney, who will be replaced this week by Josh McCown. And that was against Seattle. And Seattle's they're not a weak defense, to say the least.
Nope.
And you have Knox going down, so you have another guy that can step in and get targets. He's averaging 5 catches over the last 2 games. He's actually had 5 catches each of the last 2 games. So that's a guy I would go out and I would feel pretty safe starting him in a flex position if you're hurt at running back this week. The next guy,
He said,
the next guy, C.J.
Pork
Spiller.
chop sandwiches.
C.J. Spiller. You never really know what to do with this guy, but he's playing Denver this week, and Denver, surprising stat when I was doing my research on their defense and running backs is they've allowed 11 running backs over the past 8 games, 12-plus fantasy points. So,
wow.
Yeah, I mean, they're giving backups 12-plus points. So if you need a guy to insert in your lineup as a flex or even a running back number 2 and you're in a PPR league, go with C.J. Spiller. He had 91 yards rushing, over 70 yards receiving, and he actually had 9 receptions on 11 targets. So he's getting involved in that offense, and I feel safe putting him in my lineup if I had to use him. That's all I got,
dude.
Yeah,
hey,
that's the preemptive strike this week.
that's the preemptive strike. Ladies and
Looks
gentlemen.
like we survived that strike.
Yes, we did. And what do the kids think? I love using that for some reason. Yeah,
Love
thanks,
using
Gary.
kids.
And it would behoove you guys and girls out there to listen to the preemptive strike because Khalil Bell could have won your game. But if you didn't listen,
22.5 points.
he might have beat you. if
Sucks
you
to
know what
be
I mean.
you.
Sucks to be you. All right, guys. You know what time it is? Maybe for the last time.
Oh,
You got to play that.
This
you gotta
kid
find
is
that
a
music.
gainer. He's a baller. He's a playmaker and a shot caller. In case you didn't know, I got Tebow. He shattered
In case
the
you
mold,
didn't know.
and all he does is win. All he does is win games.
Listen,
I got
Yes, we
Tebow.
do.
He shattered the mold, and all he does is win. All he
play it out
does is
'cause it might be the
unleash.
last time we hear it.
let him go.
It's time.
Turn him loose.
Let him play. Let him play.
On Sunday,
Unleash.
some Tebow.
Let him
Oh,
go.
Sunday.
It's time.
Turn him loose.
Let him play.
I'm going to church Sunday. Run, pass, option. I think that's my game.
All right, you can stop it now.
Okay, yeah. So it's that's it. We're moving on to our.
All he does is win unless he's playing good teams.
with good offenses, and I believe that was predicted quite a few weeks ago.
Jerry, first of all, you said he
was
would
it-
lose against the two teams he beat. First of all,
What's that?
you said that he would not win 2 games. More
No, I said
specifically, he
the
would
max
not,
he would win 2 games, and that's
you
so
said he
far.
would not beat Minnesota.
Okay.
You said he would not
They-
beat
and
Chicago.
That was okay.
Okay.
Chicago lost Forte.
That's
That's when I
baby.
made the prediction.
And Cutler.
That's when I made
Mhm.
and
They,
Cutler.
they even have
Cutler was
they had
already out
Cutler
there.
when you said it.
So, anyways, I'm going to stand aside and let y'all say what you got to say about Tebow, if anything.
What is there to say that hasn't been said about
Okay.
his
So, okay, then I'll ask you: is he done in Denver? Is he going to be? Do they make the playoffs?
no, they're still riding his dick.
Okay. Do you think, even though they lost in the
I
game,
will- I
and
will
the
say
fact they
this.
show an improvement, he did show improvement.
I will say
disagree
this.
with that.
There was a quote.
His completion percentage has gone up over the past few weeks, hasn't it?
Nope, it's actually declined the last 3 weeks. Each game, the last 3 weeks, he started off against Minnesota 66%, Chicago 52%, and New England 50%.
Must have
And
my
it's-
Tebow goggles on when I was reading the stats.
It's- yeah, but he passed the ball all right for yardage. I mean, he had his 3rd highest yardage total of the year, 194 yards, which is a career low probably for
Winning.
Aaron Rodgers, which was probably this week. And he fumbled at a critical time like he usually does. He usually has a critical turnover in the most inopportune time. But his defense usually makes the plays for him, and they couldn't this week against a high-powered offense.
Brian Dawkins being out, I think, hurt that defense quite
I
a
don't
bit.
think Brian Dawkins made 41-point difference.
Oh no!
or
Oh
an
no! I'm just saying.
18-point
I
win.
think he. I'm not even talking about Tebow. I'm just talking about the defense. I think him being out hurt the defense.
I think Brian Dawkins being out probably saved me buying a Tim Tebow jersey covering the 13-point
Yep.
spread. But
Man, I was really hoping that was happening.
One particular play in that game that I'm just glad I'm not Tom Brady was that Elvis Dumerville sack.
Dude, he got ate up.
Mm.
And I mean, and
Brady's future
Brady
babies felt that.
Well, fuck Brady got up like a champ.
You got to admit, watching Tebow throw a couple of those passes, they look like a Pop Warner football guy was. Two passes I remember in particular, it was over the middle or just offset to the left over the middle. They were not just ducks. I mean, they were like end over end throws.
So nasty, isn't it?
They were awful, and
That's part of what bugs me about him is he'll have those, and that's why they're ugly. It's probably one of the only guy that I could even get close to comparing him to. Who was the Miami quarterback, University of Miami quarterback that played in the national championship against Ohio State years ago?
Ken Dorsey.
Ken Dorsey. A lot of people on his nuts a little bit, and I thought he threw one of the worst looking balls, just like a duck.
He has that 5-minute wind up too.
Yeah. And it's just like Tebow. But what bugs me about Tebow is he'll have these ducks, and then he'll throw like a perfect, nice, tight spiral, down
amazing.
the field. And I just don't understand the disparity between his throws. Because, I mean, it's not just a little. It's like perfect spiral, and then, like you said, like a 5-year-old Pop Warner throwing a. So, yeah, so I was, I thought I did say I thought they were going to lose. So did Theo. But I did think they'd cover the spread, and they didn't. So I was wrong.
Yeah, and the spread actually went down, I think, like 7.5 come game time.
Did it?
So the 13-point spread, I think, started out the beginning of the week, and then it lowered because God said something.
Yeah.
It really got the fans' hopes up in the first quarter.
Yeah,
They
were
ran
looking
for like
pretty good.
160 yards in the first quarter.
That's pretty ridiculous. But McGahee got injured. That kind of changed the dynamic, I guess. And unfortunately, I didn't watch the whole game because I was tired as shit.
Lance Ball.
Lance Ball played pretty well.
Yeah, he kind of emerged there a little bit.
All right, so I think it'll still be exciting. What I am hoping for is a Week 17 matchup for the division between Kansas City and the Broncos, and that's kind of why I want San Diego to not do so well, because I really want to see it come down to those two, because that would just create some awesome.
I wonder what the
drama.
ratings was for the New England Denver game.
That's a good question because I know a lot of people were pissed that they didn't flex that game.
Right.
Because a lot of people wanted to see it. Just the haters wanted to see it, to see Tebow get stomped. The lovers and supporters wanted to see it because they thought he was going to do something miraculous. So.
And that Kansas City offense looks completely different now with Kyle Orton
Oh,
running it.
dude, could you imagine if Jamal was still back there, dude?
Oh,
No.
yeah.
Jeez. So
Somebody actually dropped Jamal Charles in my keeper league,
in a keeper league.
and I picked him up. Yeah,
Wow.
What
What are you playing with? 5-year-olds?
I don't know. I never met any of the guys.
Mark Stover in your
Maybe.
league?
Is Mark Stover in your league? Oh, sorry, Mark.
There is a team called the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Is there?
Yes, that could be that.
All right. Well, so that's Tebow time for this week. Kept it
Yeah.
short. There wasn't a whole lot to talk about.
So glad it died.
As expected.
Yeah, I was wrong, and I admit I was wrong, but only for a week. Maybe it'll turn around. Who
I was
knows?
sweating that game in the
Yeah.
first half, though.
Oh, I bet you were. Because
Mhm.
I mean, they went up. They went up 7-0 or
16-7. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't have any music to introduce this, but every week we do an NCAA highlight player of the week, or player highlight of the week, however you want to say that. And this week, the Dominator is going to bring us a little something. Who you got this week, Dom?
I'm going to introduce the Heisman Trophy winner for 2011, Robert Griffin III, or also known as RG3. He's the redshirt junior quarterback from the University of Baylor Bears. At 6'3", 220 pounds, he won the Heisman. He's the first winner from a school that, quite frankly, has been the perennial punching bag of the Big 12 and the former Southwestern Conference over the last 30 years, but has reemerged in recent years, mainly because of mainly because of this guy and the great recruiting effort by third-year head coach Art Briles and his staff within the state of Texas, who actually recruited and committed Griffin out of high school when he was the head coach at the University of Houston. So when Briles got the job at Baylor, Griffin followed him there. He played his high school ball at Coppers Cove High School, which is in Killeen, Texas. He wasn't a very sought-after prospect coming out of high school in the state of Texas or from the big schools. Houston was the only Texas school that actually actively recruited him, but he did get a lot of offers from schools outside of the state. And according to Rivals.com, he was only the 42nd best player in the state of Texas.
Wow.
In the state of Texas, and the fourth best dual threat quarterback in the country in 2008. The number one quarterback being in that recruiting class being who do you think that was in 2008?
I have no idea.
Being a Michigan fan.
And what, Denard?
No, no,
And just in Texas?
no. Okay.
Okay, I'm back. What I missed?
The number one quarterback in that recruiting class was Ohio State's favorite program killer and NCAA
Pryor.
violations darling,
That's right. Yeah.
Terrell Pryor.
Terrell
Michigan-
Pryor came out in the same.
Yeah,
Same-
I forgot about that.
He was
Michigan
the-
was actually trying to get him that year.
He was the number one quarterback.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that
Penn
year.
State was trying to get him too.
I missed this whole bit because I had to answer a phone call. But
Yep. Mark hates Terrell Pryor as well. 'cause
oh yeah,
This year,
He spurned Penn State.
I love RG3. Go ahead.
This year, he was fourth in the Big 12 in passing. Now, remember that the Big 12 is a league that puts up huge passing stats.
Yeah.
If you
defense.
consider that he was sixth in the nation. So he was fourth in the Big 12, but sixth in the nation.
Wow.
Averaging 337 yards a game, 36 touchdown passes, and only threw 6 interceptions. He led the nation in passing efficiency with 192 rating.
That is a huge stat right
So, I mean, just saying that, he's a legit passer.
Yep.
Now, those are just passing stats. On the run, he netted 644 yards with 9 rushing touchdowns. In 2 games, he ran the ball for 100 yards and threw the ball for at least 200 yards and threw a touchdown pass and ran for a touchdown pass in each of those 2 games. He got a lot of national exposure playing in prime time, which which helps your Heisman hype,
Oh,
I guess.
absolutely.
And after watching him over the course of the season, personally, I think the guy's the real deal. He's going to be a true dual threat quarterback in the NFL, unlike one-dimensional passing running backs that will remain nameless. I think he's going to be likened to a guy like Cam Newton for this year. I mean, fantasy-wise, Cam Newton was a beast.
Oh,
God,
sick.
yeah.
Because he
Out of nowhere.
he threw the ball and passed the ball. He's had outstanding production on the ground and in the air. The guy's got a good head on his shoulders. He comes from parents who are both U.S. Army retired vets.
Yep. He's real articulate.
The guy is really smart. He's smart as shit. he finished his bachelor's degree early and is almost finished with his master's. So you're not getting just another gangbanger with speed.
Yeah, buddy.
There's one caveat to this thing. He redshirted last year due to an ACL tear. So he has another year of eligibility left and hasn't officially declared. The latest reports coming from TMZ of all fucking places is that his dad, aptly named RG2,
oh, that's awesome,
has has told agents to stay away from his son so he can focus on the Alamo Bowl coming up on December 29th.
See, he's got. I love everything about this guy. Everything I hear.
He went on to state that his son will not sign with any agent that attempts to contact Robert Griffin III directly. So they want all these agents to contact his dad.
Yeah.
But his dad reportedly has been talking to 5 agents, which is a strong indicator that he's going into the draft this season, this offseason.
Yeah, sure. Even stronger indication is Matt Barkley today declared he would be going back to USC.
No, he did. I thought Khalil though. I thought is his tackle still leaving?
I don't know, but he came out and did one of the decision things, and he came out and said, yeah, he's staying at USC. Well, they're going to be bowl eligible this year, so he wants to kind of finish what he started, sort of thing.
Yeah, because Barkley's a beast.
Yeah.
So this is my question to you two.
Yeah.
You almost have to draft a quarterback in this year's fantasy draft.
Yep.
Who do you choose? Robert Griffin III, Andrew Luck, someone else?
Are we assuming they go to the same team? Like,
yeah, I guess it really all depends on what teams.
So for this purpose,
these guys go
to the same. Assuming the same team, who would you rather take?
Right, or just shit,
just in general.
Just in general. Leonard, go.
I'm taking RG3, and I'll tell you why. It's hard to say that because let's be honest. If you had a chance to see Luck at all, he's not just the pocket thrower. He can get out there, run around a little bit. Let's put it this way. There's a lot of comparisons to Peyton Manning, but he's no Peyton Manning when it comes to the wheels. Okay.
He's a little mobile.
Yeah, he's a little more mobile. Did you see the catch that he made?
Oh, yeah, that one-handed catch.
Sick one-handed catch. So not only is he a quarterback, he's an athlete, but the things that people love about Luck is he is a commander on the field.
He's got football smarts.
Yeah, he is a football
He studies films
guy.
constantly.
So, but I tell you what, usually I would absolutely say Luck, but there's something about RG3. One, I would like him to put on at least 10, 15 pounds personally.
Yeah, that's what I was about to make that point.
Yeah, if he can put on 10, maybe 15 pounds, I'd say 10 pounds. If RG3 can put on 10 pounds, not lose too much of his speed. But this is what I love about RG3. He does not rely on his runs hardly at all,
right.
Especially like Oklahoma game and a lot of the games that we got to see on the national stage. It wasn't about his legs. It was about one of the most beautiful, perfectly placed deep ball throwers I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, this kid throws beautiful arching spirals, landing right into I forget that main receiver they have who also declared.
He's going to be a beast in the NFL
yeah,
too.
I mean,
putting on weight, I don't know because Tim Tebow. We love talking about Tim Tebow, but he's 6'3", 236.
Yeah.
RG3, 6'2", 220.
He's 220.
He is 220. That's what he's listed as.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah.
So he's a big
he
dude.
Looked a little skinnier to me for some reason. I don't know.
I think it's because he's. I don't know.
Well, he was standing up there with Luck during the Heisman. It just seemed like Luck had. Maybe it's just body type because Luck had those broader shoulders and stuff like that.
You ever hear Andrew Luck talk? He
Yeah.
sounds weird.
Yeah, he does. So I'm sorry, I made this a lot longer. Should have been RG3 for the simple fact is he's efficient. I love his deep ball. I love the fact that he does not rely on his wheels, but if he needs to, he was a state hurdling champion.
Right. I was about to point that out.
I mean, this kid is such an athlete. And finally, what really puts it over the top for me is his personality and the way he was raised. I mean, he's smart. Like I said, getting his master's degree. He wore the damn Superman socks. You know, he seems like a fun-loving guy. It seems like he would be the type of guy that is not going to get down. You know, you're losing. He kind of probably has that moxie that's like, no, no matter what, they're always going to be in the game. And the fact that he took Baylor to the national stage. We're talking about Baylor here. So yes,
he obviously didn't hear the first part of my.
I didn't. I'm sorry. I did. I had to duck out. So yes, RG3. I don't care what team. However, Luck's going to be sick. I mean, let's not.
Yeah, he's going to be good. And stats don't always tell the whole story, but when you look at the stats comparing these two quarterbacks, Luck has more of the stature. He's like 6'4", so he's got that going for him. And RG3, I just said 6'2", but. Looking at their stats, they run completely different offenses. I totally understand that.
Yeah.
But 9 games, RG3 threw for over 300 yards. 4 of those games were over 400 yards. And you look at Andrew Luck, he threw for 0 400-yard games and only 4 300-yard games. Maybe his cast is a little bit different, not as much talent or whatever. And you could say he doesn't have as much time to throw the ball. But Andrew Luck was only sacked 9 times throughout the season compared to 23 by RG3.
Yeah.
So stats-wise, RG3 really beats him in every single significant stat you look at.
Yeah.
So, and I watched, or I actually had a scouting report on him, and the lowest grade he got was an 8 out of 10 in anything.
Wow.
That's just in one particular category, and that was accuracy. So he has to work, maybe fine-tune some accuracy a little bit. But, I mean, this guy's a stud. I think I would take him first over Andrew Luck. But, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be tough.
One little known nugget about RG3 that you guys may not know.
That's what you get at Football Faction. Little known nuggets.
He was Baylor's backup punter.
No way.
He's punted 3 times this year, netting 40 yards a punt.
Well, there you go. Not bad at all. Oh, geez. Stover just chimed in. I wonder what the tanker will do with the first pick.
Oh, man.
No, he didn't.
Stover's very, very angry about that, I think.
He is.
So, yeah. Well, what about you, Dom? RG3 or Luck? You got all that information.
Initially I was all about Luck.
Yeah.
I mean, because he just seems like your prototypical Peyton Manning kind of NFL quarterback. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
I've been seeing RG3 on film. I mean, this is we're kind of entering a league where, you gotta rely on your legs.
Oh yeah.
And
keeping plays alive, man.
Yeah.
But I do remember that play with Andrew Luck where he ran the ball and just totally bowled this guy over.
Like Mike Allstott.
Oh yeah, dude.
I mean,
that's what I'm saying. I think there's no way you can go wrong with either one of these guys. I will also say I think Andrew Luck through a season is going to be the more consistent quarterback through a season. But I think RG3 is going to be the quarterback where you're going to have pretty consistent, but then you're going to have those weeks where it's like phenomenal.
Off the charts,
so
how about not suck for Luck, but go on a losing spree for RG3?
Oh, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's nice.
I thought of that all on my own.
That's a Football Faction copyright right there. Going on a losing spree for RG3. I like that. Good job. Well, yeah, cool. Hey, thanks for that bit, Dom. Lots of good information there. Way to bring it.
Yep.
All right, next segment. One of my personal favorites.
Throughout history, man has marveled at the vast complexity of the universe. Without a single unified voice, humanity has been left searching for answers to the unknown. Now, one man has the power to change that and to spread his voice across the earth for all of mankind. One man.
Well, Leonard Kelly, I'm going to bring you your caffeinated critic today. Basically, we review a movie each week. By the way, I did forget to say Stover said he would take Luck. By the way, he would suck Luck. I mean, suck for Luck. So yeah,
both,
or maybe both. Movie we're gonna review this week. We'll review it real quick. I'm gonna be honest here and say one of the most visually impressive movies I can really remember seeing since Avatar. To be honest, Sherlock Holmes 2. Game of Shadows. I went to go see this with the Dominator here, and Theo and Miranda and my fiance Sam, and everybody was impressed with it. It was directed by Guy Ritchie, and
what they saw of it.
Yeah, well, most of us were on mids, and so some of us slept. We took a little nap, maybe for 5 minutes during the film, but that's neither here nor there. No joke. The cinematography in this movie was ridiculous. You agree, Dom?
Wholeheartedly.
Some of the camera angles, the slow to fast motion, and it wasn't all just the slow motion you see in the previews when they're running through the forest. I mean, that's pretty amazing. But there's a lot of times where they almost have a steady cam that's actually hooked onto the shoulder of one of the guys as they're running through that forest, but it's a side angle shot. There was just so much stuff. And then after I found out that Guy Ritchie directed it, which I actually just found out today, it kind of made sense. I mean, the same guy that did Snatch, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, those sort of movies. And I tell you what, I think this movie took a huge leap forward in cinematography. And if it's not up for some award, I really just have disdain for those award shows. But I mean, if it's not up for some of the cinematography, even the score was freaking amazing. But the acting, if y'all remember from the first Sherlock Holmes, what he would do is he would analyze the situation, and you'd get to see the thought process. acted out before he actually did, like the fight with the guy in the fight pit and stuff like that. In this one, it's really incredible because Professor Moriarty and Sherlock are going back and forth, and they're about to get in a fight, and it's cool because they both do that analyzation, and it was. I don't want to ruin the movie for you. It
was like a chess match.
Yeah,
but it was a literal chess match because they were actually playing chess.
They were actually playing chess. Just a freaking great film. I would highly suggest go see it.
It is a great film.
I like that the part at the end where they're falling off the balcony. That whole cinematography part. I just thought that was stunning visually.
I don't know how they did half of those things too. The acting, the score, the cinematography. I would just honestly, every single thing about this film was impressive. And so
I'm gonna say this: I didn't see the first one.
Yeah.
And Rachel McAdams dies like right away, and I was kind of disappointed because I think she's like just awesome,
dude.
But I heard that she was like a total bitch in the first one.
Yeah, she was very scandalous, and Stover said F Rachel McAdams.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. If we're doing the F, marry, kill.
No, he's just saying F in general.
Oh,
like screw her. Yeah, y'all need to see that film. I'm sorry, and I'm sorry for the unprofessionalism and the kind of scattered-brained aspect of this segment, but Stover was posting gay porn on my 27-inch iMac.
It was very distracting.
Yeah, and it was very horrible. He said girls, not guys. Must have been the pixels. I'm not sure. But anyways, yeah. So that was our caffeinated critic for this week. Hey, how's it going, folks? This is Leonard Kelly. I'm talking to you actually while I'm editing this piece on Friday morning. Just want to let y'all know that unfortunately some of the stuff got cut out in the previous when we recorded it. We had a segment here for fan emails. Adam Bernhardt emailed in and had a couple of questions for his lineup. Unfortunately, some of it got cut off somehow, and I'm not really sure how that happened, but we do have a portion of it. So basically, the only thing you missed was us introducing the segment and talking about the first question he had on who to start between Darius Hayward-Bay, Tampa Mike Williams, or a person that he could pick up off waivers. So Jerry is that's where we're going to pick it up, is where Jerry's talking about it.
It's more. He'll give you more bang for the buck. He'll give you the receptions, and he's going to get you the yards because he's a big play guy. So I would go with him. Gaffney's more possession type receiver. He's not going to get you a huge touchdown run in most cases. So if you want a lot of points scored, I would go with Darius Hayward-Bay on this. He's been a favorite, and again, Jacoby Ford's out for Oakland again.
Is Denarius playing?
Denarius, I think, is playing, so he's a big play threat. But I think the most targets have been going still this past week, included with Denarius Moore. They've been still going to Darius Hayward-Bay, so. He drops some balls every once in a while, but he's a big play receiver.
All right, Bernie. So
statistically,
not really a consensus,
statistically, you should probably go with DHB.
You should probably go with DHB. However, I would say close your eyes, say a prayer, and see if what comes to you, if it's going to be Gaffney or DHB. Because I think we all of us agree Tampa Mike is not in this equation simply because the downfall of the poor Buccaneers this year. So. DHB if you want to play it safe, but if you're not having a warm and fuzzy, you can go with Gaffney.
I mean, last 2 weeks, DHB has been 15.6 yards per catch, 19.4 yards per catch.
How many receptions has he been getting?
He had 8 last game for 155 yards. So, and the week before he had 5 for 78 yards.
Okay, yeah, DHB is probably the way to go there, buddy. And then 2 of these: running back Frank Gore, Cedric Benson, Roy Halou, Felix Jones, and Steven Jackson.
I'm going to go with some unpopular guys right here. I'm going to go with not Steven Jackson, but
Cedric Benson, Frank Gore, Roy Halou, Felix Jones.
Yes, Roy Halou versus Minnesota. Minnesota's run defense is awful.
Yep.
He's going to get a lot of yards in that game. I expect him to go over 100 yards again that game. So I would definitely put Roy Halou in and check his injury before you insert him in.
Because Royster took some carries last week.
Yes, he did. So check on that. The other guy I would go with is against another awful defense, and that's Felix Jones versus Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So Steven Jackson, I mean, you talk about CJ1K.
No shit.
Steven Jackson's had an awful year running the ball. Weeks 8, 9, 10. He went over 100 yards. He actually had some beastly games. But since then, he's only hit 71 yards, was his most yards he's had in a game in 5 games. So I mean,
really like him
He
too. It's sad
still
to see
does
that.
not have 1,000 yards this season. 966. So
That whole offense is
and
horrible.
another thing is they're going against the Steelers, who've only allowed 2
Steelers.
100-yard rushing games this year, and that was against Ray Rice and Arian Foster.
So you're sitting Frank Gore against Seattle.
I am sitting him. He's a little bit banged up, and he's been on the decline over the past few weeks. Kendall Hunter, I think that's the guy who can get some more carries. Frank Gore, let's see, who's he going up against? Seattle. Yeah, Seattle at Seattle.
Oh, that's true. That's a
Yeah,
difference.
I'm not really confident in that.
Now,
one this
Felix
week.
Jones is a little banged up. He didn't practice yesterday. I haven't checked the latest to see if he practiced today. He just had a little bit of a hammy issue. But I actually agree, too. I say Felix Jones and Roy Halou. I mean, you got to make those bold moves when you're in the playoffs, especially championship game. What do you say, Dom?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of
Alright.
times you don't want to go against your studs, but in this case,
I own Steven Jackson in 2 leagues, and I mean he was injured a few games, which kind of backed off his stats. But average. I mean, he's always dependable on a like a per yardage, or yards per carry average.
yeah, he hasn't been getting a lot of carries.
Yeah,
That's what's-
and that's the problem.
yeah.
All right. Something that we don't have in our league, but you may in some of your other leagues, a defensive team question. You've got, he can have Tennessee, and they're playing Jacksonville, or Denver, and they're playing Buffalo.
Easy.
Tennessee.
Well, yeah, I picked up Tennessee actually in one of my leagues this week.
Got to
but
worry about freaking MJD, though.
You do, but you don't have to worry about the passing game. So MJD, you stop him, and you're good
And
to go.
their scoring offense is just horrible.
Yeah, I say Tennessee's
Which is a big component of team defense.
Yeah. All right, Tennessee's the pick there. And then we have an IDP question from the old Bernie. Haloti Nada or Justin Smith?
I'm pretty sure Haloti Nada was injured. Wasn't he like hurt or something like that?
Was he? Let's see. I tell you what, Bernie, we'll get back to you on that IDP question. But yeah, that's our first fan email. I think we steered him the right way. Hopefully we did. And if we didn't, then we will just cut this segment out when it goes official. So we never said it. But hopefully that helped you out there, Bernie. All right, ladies and gentlemen, next up we have a segment that is new. It's brought to you by Theo Ludovici. He really looks forward to bringing you this segment, and well, let's just let him take it away. Stand by.
Oh my god, I just fucking love this song. So hard. Hey guys, it's Theo, or as Leonard Kelly would like to endearingly call me, Theopolis. Is that the name?
Yes, Theo. That is what I do like to refer to you as sometimes.
Oh, thanks. This is my segment. I'm gonna call it the hot music injection. This is a segment where I will be previewing bands that nobody's ever heard of. And it's gonna be awesome. You know, it's as awesome as shaving my chest or waxing my asshole. I mean, can I get an amen from the crowd?
Amen for sure. So Theo,
sounds hot.
Yeah. So you say it's music not many people have heard of. Where would you hear this type of music if I wanted to explore what you're going to be talking about eventually?
Oh, some of the various clubs in New York City that nobody goes to. You know that guy that does a bit on Saturday Night Live? His name is
that does the clapping, and does the pursed lips.
I think that's his name. I think his name is Siobhan or something.
Yes, yeah.
There's something really super and spectacular. Anywho, I think that you will really enjoy this segment because I'm doing it.
Can I just ask you a quick? You're probably not
shoot. All over. I mean, shoot.
I just want to let you know, I don't know about everybody else out there, but I am definitely looking forward to future segments of Theo's Hot Music Injection. Let me just tell you that.
Yes, me too.
Well, thanks, buddy. Thanks for stopping by.
Me 3. Me 4.
Thanks for stopping by. We'll move on here.
Oh, bienvenue, guys. I mean, I think that means hello in French.
It might. For the record, Theo is French Italian. So, just in case anybody cared to know. Okay, moving on from that awesome segment. Got a quick question for y'all. We're pretty much almost done here, but I just got a quick question for y'all about dynasty purposes, since this is the championship week. Any moves to make that you can think of on players to pick up that haven't been doing anything at all, but that you're looking forward to hold on to in the offseason, maybe to produce next year? Or what's your plan of attack, just in general for the dynasty? Like, what is Jerry Herring and what does Dominic Kirsch do in the offseason? Where do they concentrate their efforts and stuff?
I'm looking at 4 guys that I can think of other than what I gave you earlier in the preemptive strike. Matt Flynn would be a quarterback I would be looking at.
Straight up on that. I ran in there to try and pick him up like 6 weeks ago or something.
Yep.
I was like, oh, I'm going to get a guy, and nobody's going to know because he's not doing anything, and he's going to be a pick for someone.
He's already gone.
Already
Yep.
gone.
I did the same thing. Yep. He's going to be a free agent, so he's going to be a highly touted quarterback in that free agent class. So one guy I look at.
Of course, I dropped him. No.
Yeah. So did Billy. Yeah, Billy dropped him as well. So Jake Locker be the other one.
I agree with that.
Matt Hasselbeck, I can see as a 1-year rental to kind of groom him, and I think he's going to be an inconsistent quarterback at first, but he's a gunslinger. So
gunslinger.
He was. 2 more. Bile Powell. I mentioned him quite a few times. Pick him up in the offseason. Hold on to him. See what happens with that Jets running back situation. And then a guy who probably is rostered in most dynasty leagues, but a guy you can target late in drafts next year is Mikel LaShore. And
yeah. Safety, right?
People forgot about. No, that's the running back for Detroit. That's
Oh,
been
I'm
out
stupid.
all year. God. Yes, been out all year. Kevin Smith.
That's a safety, right?
Kevin. Obviously, Kevin Smith's an injury concern, and Javid Best is. Who knows if he'll ever play again with the amount of concussions he gets.
Yep.
So LaShore is going to be that workhorse back next year for Detroit.
Cool. Dom, you got what's your plan for the offseason?
I got to focus on quarterbacks.
Yep.
You just mentioned Matt Hasselbeck, and I mean he's on his last leg. Josh Freeman's was my regular starter. I don't know what the hell he's doing. So I mean I got to focus on quarterbacks.
Did you were those the 2, or did you have a third quarterback? You had Palmer, but you got.
I drafted Blaine Gabbert.
Gabbert, that's right.
Right. Well, because I had to because I wanted Christian Ponder, but old fuckface Buck he took him out from under me because I took
he Jewed you out.
Yeah, he did because I thought he was going to be able to trade him to you
right.
for something.
I took Lance Kendricks before he had the chance to.
Gotcha.
And
let me ask you this. Obviously, Luck is going to be. I assume Luck would be taken within the first 5 picks of our rookie draft.
I think so.
Most probably, I think. Maybe towards the end of it.
I almost have to take. I think I have the number 5 pick.
Do you? Oh, so you might be.
So I almost have to take a quarterback.
See, I want RG3. I don't have a backup anymore because I traded.
I would like him.
I traded Matt Stafford away because I got bucked really bad, and so yeah, I'm going to be looking at quarterback too. I'd really like to get up in there.
You got Aaron Rodgers, so it's not like you're hurting to draft a first-round quarterback.
Yeah, just back up to groom for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But my guys that I'm looking for is I went ahead and picked him up is David Geddes. It's another guy actually out of Baylor. He was a beast at Baylor before they had any sort of significant quarterback play. Then he ended up being pretty beastly there at Carolina until he got injured. I think now with Cam Newton there, him coming back off of the leg injury, Cam Newton can develop a rapport with him. They're really looking for a number 2 guy outside of Steve Smith, and Steve Smith's pretty old.
Yeah, he's up there.
The opportunity is a knocking for David Geddes. If he come back 100% from that injury, I think, and this guy is probably on no rosters. I mean, he's on the IR, and I just picked him up off of waivers. And then I pimp him all the time, and I will continue to pimp him until after next year to see if I was correct or not.
Jarrell Scott.
Yep, Jarrell Scott. Coughlin doesn't start rookies, and the one time he let him in there, he fumbled the ball. But preseason, he looked ridiculous. Darrell Scott's most probably, depending on how competitive your league is a guy you can pick up and store for the offseason. So, yeah, rock on. Just one more thing I'd like to say to you, Jerry. Congratulations.
Oh, thanks.
The only man
Thank
at this table that is even in the playoffs anymore in our main league. Dom is in another league in which he is in the playoffs.
I'm in the championship.
In the
game.
championship. So we got a couple of potential champions at the football faction here.
Good luck to Josh Ingles this week.
Good
Nobody
luck to
thought he
Josh.
would be there.
I tell you what,
Yeah.
he turned that team around in 2 years, 2 seasons.
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
you look at his roster, it's like, how is
I think there was a lot of luck then that was involved in that.
well, when he traded away Jamal Charles, when he got bucked on the Jamal Charles trade, would he get Cedric Benson in a bag of chips or something? I forget exactly what it was, but whatever. I mean, that is the crazy thing about fantasy football, and that's what I love is we go into the season every year, especially in our league, and there's usually 2 or 3 teams, or 3 or 4, I guess nowadays, that are like, oh, these are definitely one of these guys is going to win the championship, and your team is one of them, statistically, and you're in it, so that's true. My team, no, I'm not in it anymore. Hogs,
You never are.
I'm not. I make a good effort in the regular season and then poop the bed in the.
You are the regular season champion.
I am every
You're
year.
kind of like the Lions in the preseason.
Exactly.
Like the preseason
4-0.
champion. Yeah.
And then Hogs, Hogs ain't in it this year. So hopefully those of y'all out there that are in the championship, good luck to you. We would love to hear if you hear from you. If you happen to win your game or whatever, just let us know, and then we will shamelessly plug that Football Faction helped you win your league. So yeah, in closing, I'd just like to say, great show. It was a little rough because I woke up pretty late. And our goal of only doing an hour-long show was only off by an hour and 14 minutes. So,
got some editing to do.
Yeah, I'll be editing this up. And hey, guys and girls, we will do our best to cut this show down to as close to an hour as we can. We'll work real hard on it next week. And I think next week we will have a better chance, seeing as we'll still talk about fantasy football, obviously, because some of y'all don't have the championship game until week 17. But we will be introducing many, many more new segments beginning next week that deal with just everything, the anything and everything aspect of Football Faction. So, in closing, you got anything, Dominator?
There are several ways you can find our podcast.
Yes, there is. What ways are those?
You can find us on the McDago Productions blog at blog.mcdagoproductions.com.
That is a wonderful website. Whoever did that did a good job.
Yeah, some Mick.
You can also find us on iTunes.
Yes, you can.
You can find us on YouTube.
Which, by the way, Dom is in charge of all the YouTube stuff. So if you like that, he does an awesome job with the pictures and the little tidbits and stuff that he puts on there. So you definitely got to check it out.
I'm thinking about our Air Force cohorts that can't access.
Exactly.
That can only access YouTube.
Which is so weird.
Yeah.
So for your listening pleasure.
You can't access my blog, but you can access YouTube and Facebook.
For your listening pleasure whilst working.
Yep. Dom will try, and hopefully I'll have this edited tonight. Dom can have it out maybe on Friday or something. We'll see. But yeah, we just want to thank y'all for tuning in. We will get better at this, we promise. And please, 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 I can't stress this enough. You've got to subscribe to those various outlets. If you're listening to the blog, just subscribe to it, and you'll get notified anytime there's a new update. On YouTube, that's a simple thing. Just go in there and just click subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. Same goes for iTunes. Need your subscribers on there. Also, tell your friends, even people that don't give a damn about any of this, just say, hey, go on here and subscribe. They really need your help. So,
also send in your emails to
McDagoProductions@gmail.com.
And you can also follow us on Twitter at Football Faction.
Yes, Dom is actually going to start tweeting.
Twittering.
He's going to start twatting.
He's going to Twittering his.
All right, so final thought here. Just hey, good luck to y'all in the playoffs. I wish I was there with y'all, and we really appreciate it. And I think we're going to exit with a little Cowboys from Hell today.
Peace, bitches.
Shout out, shoot out, spread fear of the without. It's me that attack, what's off the you